back again. This is Yolisa with Indaba the Story. We're here with Jewelz at Another Planet Studios discussing the creative hub here they're establishing and developing and building in Brooklyn, New York. We talked a bit earlier about some of the vision around the Another Planet Studios and its hub and creative hub, but now we're going to get into a bit of your background. You said you have 10 years in music, so you can maybe just tell me a little bit of how did you get into music?
I've been into music like spiritually. Then the rest was just me being J Master J, being around the creators. You know, I had nowhere else to go instead of sleep in the studio.
So what other parts of the music industry do you have you had experience in?
Say that again?
What different parts of the music industry have you had experience in as an artist? So have you been someone who's also produced music, or have you just been someone who's writing music as well as on the front and with the microphone? Tell us about someone who's never met you, someone who doesn't know. You have thousands of followers, so they're not following you because there's not anything going on. They're following you because there's something very interesting that they're seeing going on. So just tell me a little bit about some of the things you've done and some of the experiences that you've had that you would like to highlight as a moment that for you is what keeps you going in the creative industry.
At the beginning I was a solo artist, you know. Now it's like I help in all ways, like I said. It might be on the project, it might be on producing the record, it might be on assisting a friend on photography. So I assist in multiple ways.
So you've done also, like you would say, a creative director kind of energy that you've had there.
Yeah.
So would you say that, and I say this as a New Yorker myself, the reason why I asked you about creating in New York is because unlike so many other places in the country, and I would say in the world, creating in New York, you find yourself, you can be on the subway and you can meet a producer who just produced a blockbuster film. You can go to Broadway, and outside of Broadway, you can meet the director of the next big play. There's so many opportunities. You can go to a Fashion Week event and find yourself stumbling upon a big designer who can offer you an opportunity. It's a lot different than, I would say, this is what attracts, that's why there's this whole constant attraction and migration of younger people to New York. As we saw in the recent elections, there's a large number of people have moved into New York City, and they're also interested in reshaping the way that the city is going to look going forward. So for you creating in New York, what would you say to someone who, let's say, is in Johannesburg, South Africa? What would you say to an artist in Johannesburg, South Africa, which is considered the New York of South Africa?
Okay.
What would you say about your experience creating in a city like New York City with so many different people, so many things going on all the time?
It's the melting pot. You know, you understand diversity, you know, and just as much as it be in South Africa, it's like we can bring that feeling here, you know, with the South African people. You know, we understand, we create, be on a different frequency wave that's universal with any entity of a person. So what I'm trying to say is, I'm trying to get more deep on that question, more of like, we can,
like for example, what would you say to someone who says they're in Ohio?
Okay.
And they're in Ohio and they can't find a collective, they can't find a hub, or there's no hub in Ohio, but they're planning to move to New York. What would you say would be a good way for them to get around the right people, to also maybe meet people who've accelerated in that industry that they want to be in? What would you say would be a good way? Where's the place to be?
Like, what type of producer do they need? Do they need videography? Do they need press kits? Do they need press release? Do they need media? Like I would ask them about the things they probably don't have to guide them here, because we insist on all of those.
Yes. Yeah. And then to guide them here, and then from here they can find the different other people who do different things. Because as we saw here, there's also people who are doing art. We saw there were children earlier who were doing like a graffiti project in one of the
graffiti pioneers.
Graffiti pioneers, interesting, who are doing projects in one of the rooms. So experiences like that, where not every city or state has an experience where a young child can learn graffiti, and that graffiti is an art form, as much as they can see it in the street, but it is an art form. It has its whole world, an underworld of what is graffiti, what is it actually doing, and a culture behind it. So you would say that for someone who's moving from Ohio to New York, they would need first to kind of let you know where it is that they have their gaps, and then you would be able to fill in those gaps based on all the different people who are creators that you guys have in your network.
We are the solution to creativity.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so like I said, they need press kits, producers, in-house experience, and sometimes it's not just like what we can offer versus just come here, get you away from that mental bog or whatever it might be, whatever's stopping you from just creating. Just come here.